A little behind the scenes, I used to be a real big cokehead. I've given up the stuff for the past couple months, but to go back over this movie, I needed that caffeine in me. So, Captive State is a movie about. What is this movie about? So, Captive State is a movie about these aliens who have invaded the Earth, and all of the countries around the world have joined together to work together to get the aliens elected into our office, and I guess the government goes to the aliens now, and I don't really know how that works because the movie didn't really flesh it out. But it's the story of this boy whose brother was a rebel and blew himself up to, as a terrorist attack against the aliens, which, if you watch the movie, then you realize that, humans are the good side and the aliens are, the bad side. You know how these things go. We've all seen sci-fi movies. This is nothing new. Independence Day, hello. That's right! That's right! Jeez, man, this movie is boring. Like, I know that I love those thinking intellectual movies, and I'm a huge fan of this director. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a great movie. I love that movie. Ashton Sanders, great. He was fantastic in Moonlight. I thought he was one of the best performances in that movie, other than Mahershala Ali. John Goodman, what's not to love about John Goodman? Man, this movie is so boring. It's one of those movies that really thinks that it's interesting, and it's really trying to tell you something in a new story, in a new perspective on this, and it misses on almost every mark. Ashton Sanders, who, of course, earlier I said that I loved him, such a waste in this movie. I personally, if I were the screenwriter, I wouldn't have even put his character in this movie. And if I did, I would have combined his role with the John Goodman character, who is another wasted character in this movie. Would have put those two's role together, because if you go see this movie, and if you have seen this movie, the way that things kind of play out towards the end, I would have thought that if those two were the same character, it might have made it a better twist. I want to say that there's two different storylines going on throughout this movie, but I generally don't understand this movie. I don't know anything about what's going on in this movie. All I know is that there's this great little heist scene that kind of just shows up in the movie that I wasn't prepared for, because this movie is not marketed right and it is not what you think it is going to be, but there's this great heist scene and this tension is really building up. And if that itself was the entire movie, I would have loved this movie. I would have ate every bit of it up if they had continued going down that District 9 kind of route. Some of the things that I really wish that they had kind of leaned on a little bit that they set up in the movie was this kind of horror element going on with it, with the aliens. And I wish that they hadn't shown what they looked like so early. I mean, they show what they look like in the first 30 seconds of the movie, but I wish that they hadn't shown that, because the things that you can't see are always the things that are the most scary. That's just one of those things that you learn in screenwriting. But there was a couple scenes in this movie where it really could have played off this scary, like, it's scary. These things from out of our realm of imagination and possibility come, and they're ruling over us, and it's freaky, man. But one of the things that I do have to say that I actually did enjoy this movie was the use of color. There are a couple really well lit scenes that, the yellows, the reds, the blues, the oranges, the greens really kind of pop out because some of the background is a little bit more muted. I mean, even the colors themselves are a little bit more muted, but within the context of the story, they really stand out. And I really thought that a couple of those shots were really beautiful. The script is kind of setting up things that you think is going to happen. None of it happens, but not in the good way, where it's like, ooh, twisty, very twisty.
That's very twisty.
You find out that someone's alive, and this character's immediate response is to go, okay, well, I won't tell anybody. 5 minutes later in the movie, with a tracker implanted in his body that you know, it's kind of like implied that it can hear everything that you say, and it's very easy for the police to track you, decides to out that person and then act surprised that they caught that person. It's one of those movies that it sets up in the writing that this can't happen because we tell you it can't happen. There's no real reason for why things aren't done or are said. It's just, this can't happen. It's just so boring. Overall, after a night of Wonder Park and Captive State, I'm just getting a little worked up, and this movie is just, it's a hot mess. That's all I can say. Just like this review, it's a hot mess. I would have to give this movie 2 out of 10. I don't implore people to not go see the movies. If you feel like you want to go see this movie, go see this movie. Don't let what I have to say discourage you from it. This is just my raw first reactions from it. But man, this movie sucks. Alright, so Captive State. Did you see it? Do you want to go see it? Are you interested in it? Where do you stand on it? Leave the comment below. Leave a like for this video. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that way you get all the updates on all my new videos coming out. And hopefully I'm working on a podcast that we can put out to you guys every Saturday that might be live, may or may not be live, where we're going to be going over weekly movie news, the roundup of what's going on. Also, be sure to hit my social media links in the description below. Be sure to follow me. I'm on the quest to earn at least 1,000 subscribers on either my Instagram or my Twitter, so that way we can get into these press screenings, so I can get these videos out to you guys faster. But thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.